They called it the Jewel City. It rose from the mudflats of San Francisco's waterfront, a cosmopolitan wonderland built to last just 10 months. One of the only vestiges of this lost city is this building, the Palace of Fine Arts. But in 1915, this was just one of many grand palaces that lined the avenues of a 635-acre mini metropolis constructed to host the World's Fair in the area known today as the Marina District. The fair drew some 19 million people, mostly for the thrill of exploring displays and demonstrations that highlighted the progress of industry, technology, and culture over the centuries.
If you push through the turnstiles, you'd find yourself directly in front of a 435-foot-tall stepped tower, 43 stories tall, adorned with more than 100,000 colored jewels hung in such a way that they could move in the breezes, so the entire building sparkled day and night.
The fair, also called the Panama Pacific International Exposition to celebrate the completion of the Panama Canal, was an opportunity for San Franciscans to show the world that they had risen from the ashes of the earthquake and fires that demolished the city in 1906. The fair's aura of opulence was intended to set the stage for San Francisco's rise as a cultural and economic powerhouse, establishing it as America's gateway to trade with the Pacific. To make the fair a success, the city's diverse communities had to come to the table and put aside polarizing social and political tensions, some of which persist today.
We had the unions and the commercial organizations and the city itself. And many of these people really didn't like each other very much, and yet they banded together and really worked in concert towards this goal of creating the Jewel City.
The fairgrounds featured exhibition halls dedicated to everything from machinery to horticulture, within which were some 80,000 displays. There was also an area called the Joy Zone, with amusement park-style rides and concessions. Visitors could marvel at daredevils like Art Smith looping his flaming plane through the sky. Foreign and state pavilions displayed their own attractions, including the Liberty Bell, transported all the way from Philadelphia. Fine art sculptures appeared around every bend, and revolutionary lighting techniques bathed the fairgrounds in a swirl of color. Luminaries like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Luther Burbank were on hand to showcase the inner workings of modern industry, technology, and science. Model Ts and Levi jeans rolled off assembly lines in mini factories, and visitors could see life-saving infant incubators, the latest typewriters, and a working replica of the Panama Canal. Although a world apart from the carnage of World War I underway across the Atlantic, the fair was no escape from many of the social struggles unfolding on the home front. Class tensions and prejudices that divided San Francisco and much of America were on full display here, including derogatory depictions of different ethnic groups and the barring of African Americans from being hired for certain jobs at the fair.
Well, the fair was meant to be sort of inclusive, to gain the broad public support that the fair officials needed to make this happen. They billed it as, something that was going to create jobs and bring the city together. And for some groups that was really true, and for other groups it wasn't.
But there were also displays, conventions, and other opportunities within the fair for social debate.
Some of the foreign delegations actually protested against some of the more racist concessions and got them changed.
In an era without the internet or other wide-reaching forms of communication, this World's Fair was a place where diverse groups could voice their concerns and try to reshape perceptions. It also provided a lens through which to observe the shaping of San Francisco's future as an epicenter of economic and cultural innovation. Although the entire fair complex was dismantled 100 years ago, today in 2015, the public is being invited to step inside the restored walls of the only remaining building, the Palace of Fine Arts, into a space now known as the Innovation Hangar, where people can observe and interact with artists, makers, and others as they develop ideas that could shape our future.
I think one of the most important things about 1915 was that you could really bring together millions, in this case 19 million people, to have a shared observation on some of the most important innovations of our time. So many times right now in our world, we interact virtually, and it's important. But there's still something to be said for the idea of people coming together to experience something together.
The Fair's centennial will also be marked by the opening of an extensive exhibit by the California Historical Society, year-long music and arts festivals, and other celebrations around the city that invite us to reflect on the continuing legacy of the Jewel City.
San Francisco remains such a center of technology and innovation, and I really believe that the seed of that can be seen within the exhibit palaces of the 1915 exposition. It also succeeded in attracting tourists and investment in the entire state and immigrants, and these were all goals that went on for years afterwards. It was really a turning point in San Francisco's history.